Look, y'all. Look, I think there's some reason to be excited after the first preseason game. I really do. Like this is just a vibes check, okay? This is just Ravens flock culture vibes check. I just gotta check in with y'all for a little bit and ask y'all how y'all doing. Because for me, I'm feeling pretty good going into this season, especially after the first preseason game, how it played out, and seeing some things, some little things here and there. I think we got every reason to be excited right now as Ravens fans. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Grab your popcorn, grab your drink, and let's do it, my friends. Yo, look, welcome into the Be More Show. This gonna be quick. This gonna be fast. This gonna be in a hurry. Okay, this gonna be in a hurry. This don't even mean in a hurry. Anyway, look, welcome in to the Be More Show. I'm your host DJ back once again, and we need to talk about these Baltimore Ravens. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. But we gotta talk about these Baltimore Ravens because after the preseason victory for the Baltimore Ravens, we saw some things that we haven't seen in a while. We saw a head coach holding a play sheet, calling some plays, calling in some keys for the defense. I like this, right? We saw a little bit more under center. I mean, listen, listen. I'm feeling good. I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling good. I'm gonna pose a question to y'all later on in the week. That I just been stewing on a little bit. I just been stewing on it, but I promise y'all, I'm gonna pose this question for y'all later on in the week. But the question for today that I gotta ask y'all is how we feeling, Ravens fans? Like how are we feeling? Right? What was the most surprising? Let me ask you this way. Let's be specific. What was the most surprising thing that you saw that the Baltimore Ravens did in that preseason game, that first preseason game, that you was like, okay, this is different, right? This is different, and I like it. All right, let me know. Let me down below. What was different, and what did you like? Right? What was different, and what did you like about the Baltimore Ravens preseason debut against the Philadelphia Eagles? It was Philadelphia, right? Yeah. But listen, what I love, I'm just gonna break it down for y'all. What I loved coming out of this whole situation was Jesse Minter holding a play calling sheet, dude. Like, I think it goes kind of unsaid. I think it goes kind of unsaid that this was needed in Baltimore. This change was needed in Baltimore. It's given me the utmost confidence as a fan. And like sometimes it's fun to just get on here and just hang out with y'all and just talk about how I'm feeling as a fan. Cause like sometimes I think as fans, we overreact about everything and we are very emotional about everything. So sometimes it's kind of fun just to let those emotions fly, right? Let me know down below how y'all feeling. But I feel like when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, when it comes to Jesse Minter, there's just a lot of confidence that I have. 24-7. I was trying to check that score up. That like you know, the defense, it felt like they played well. We got to see, some of our rookies, especially when it comes to Vega at the right guard. You got to see the offense navigate under center plays, which we've talked about this before. We've been wanting this for years as Ravens fans. We've been craving more under center plays. Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, I feel like incorporating under center with an already excellent ability to play from the shotgun and from the pistol and all that, I think it makes the Ravens even better. It makes them more versatile. I think if you can hit people in a variety of different ways, and we all know that it's going to make Derrick Henry even better because Derrick Henry is not even used to running from the shotgun, and I think bringing in Derrick Henry forced the Ravens to go to more a little bit more under center, at least the run plays. But now it's not so predictable. We don't have to worry about like I'm loving this so far because we don't have to worry about defenses predicting what we're doing. Look, I feel like I'm excited for the Ravens because let me tell y'all this. I get it. Like, look, I got the thing behind me, right? I got this Ravens football up here, right? I got the Ravens potato head. Okay, like I get it. I'm biased. Okay, I understand. But let's just take a peek. Let's just put the put the binoculars on. Let's just take a peek around the AFC North, right? Honestly, I think the Ravens are in the best position right now. Right now, albeit we're all neck and neck right now. Okay, I get that, but the Ravens are in the best position right now to pick to not only pick up where they left off, but be even better, right? But be even better because we got to think about it. The Steelers were the ones to win the division last year, leaving the Ravens. I think the Ravens were technically in third place after it was all said and done, but leaving the Ravens to pick up the pieces and figure out what the heck they're gonna do. And I've been so excited for this offseason because it felt new. It felt fresh. Like it was nice to hear from different people, nice to hear from different coordinators, right? Nice to hear how the players have been talking about these guys and the respect they have for these guys, considering Jesse Minter's pretty young in his NFL coaching career, obviously, right? Declan Doyle is pretty young in his play calling as an offensive coordinator. So it's like it's fun to see. Like it's really fun to see this team have kind of a fever pitch type feel, right? Like everybody's excited, everybody's ready for this season, right? Everybody's ready, everybody's excited, everybody is like on their toes, like, hey, like this gonna be good, right? This could be good, this could be really good. But when you look around the rest of the AFC North, and that's kind of where I'm gonna take the conversation today. When you look around the rest of the AFC North, you look at the Steelers, right? The incumbent AFC North champs. You look at the Steelers, right? Obviously, the defense is going to be there, but their quarterback situation is still in shambles. Their offense is still in shambles. And now we're looking at a coach who knows the defense even better than not only probably the previous Ravens head coach, but also the previous Ravens defensive coordinator, right? So I think because Jesse Minter probably knows defense as a skill set, defense as a technique better than those guys, it makes you better already, right? It makes you better already. And I would not be surprised if the Ravens defense competes with Pittsburgh's defense, because obviously Pittsburgh is going to turn you over. They're going to get after you. They're going to get after the quarterback. They're going to make plays. They're going to make plays. They're going to make it easy. Their offense don't have to be great because Pittsburgh makes it easy for them, right? Pittsburgh's defense makes it easy because they make plays. So it makes me wonder, right? Kind of, bringing it back in. It makes me wonder, like, what is this offense going to do? Like, I mean, I know, they still got DK. They brought in Michael Pittman Jr. So, like, the weapons are there. I think it's going to be interesting, honestly, to see Aaron Rodgers with those guys, right? With those weapons, with a DK Metcalf. I think Calvin Austin is still out there as well. But also, with who's my guy? I just said it. I literally just said it. Michael Pittman Jr., right? Like, it's going to be interesting to see Aaron Rodgers with those guys, right? And what he does. But I mean, the Steelers beating the Ravens by one game last year, I wouldn't put much stock into that being similar to this year. Like, to be honest with you, I could see, I think the Ravens will split. We'll obviously do a breakdown of the schedule coming up very, very soon as well in the next couple of weeks. But I feel like coming into it, the Ravens Steelers dynamic is going to be very, very interesting, right? I think it's going to be very, very interesting. This might be one of those years where the Ravens could, I'm not gonna speak it, too forward right now, but they could sweep the Steelers, right? They could. That, if the situational football aspect of this game isn't a problem and Jesse Minter can keep his guys settled in, we could see a sweep of the Steelers. But let's look at the rest of the North. All right, let's look at the rest of the North. The Cincinnati Bengals. Same problems I've talked about for 3 or 4 years now, right? The offensive line is still a problem. It's funny. ESPN posed a question, and they said, hey, can Joe Burrow's skill kind of outwit and outplay a bad offensive line? And my knee-jerk reaction was absolutely not. There's no way. I mean, we've seen it. Like I don't know how much more proof we need to show us that it's not that Joe Burrow can't play behind a bad offensive line. I mean, realistically, nobody can, right? Nobody can excel behind a bad offensive line. And it don't matter how good Joe Burrow is, unless he's going to throw the football in less than 1 second, Joe Burrow is going to be in trouble again. And you got a guy like Trey Hendrickson rushing the passer, right? You're hoping Adese Isaac, comes of age, Zion Young, and some of these other guys, like some of these younger guys who have some opportunity, right? Because, it seems like they're going the youthful route in that way. And I do trust not only this organization, but I would say I trust, this new coaching staff to do what's best with the guys they have. So I think creating a pass rush against the Bengals, not worried about that, right? Not worried about that. I mean, they're still worried about the offensive line, right? They're still worried about the offensive line. How can they still, kind of rebuild their defense? They got a lot of issues right now that I think, personally, I just don't think the Ravens have. I just don't think I just don't think the Ravens have those same issues. And then we got the Browns, right? They got well, it's the Browns first off, right? Like the Browns are one of the weirdest teams in the league. Like, what are we? Are we 4 years into this? 4 years into this Deshaun Watson situation. They're still giving him opportunity after opportunity. Didn't play all year last year for whatever reason. We want to have that conversation. Hasn't been nearly as good as he once was since the whole massage gate, right? Hasn't been nearly as good since that whole situation. And they're still giving an opportunity, right? They're still trying to see if there's something there. Now, obviously he's played, right? He just hasn't played well. And then apparently through camp reports, he's out playing Shedeur Sanders, who I think a lot of people at this point feel like is kind of just a raw prospect. And, I think the thing about Cleveland, and we saw it with Baker, right? I think we've somewhat seen it with Deshaun too, is if you don't have confidence in your guy, they're not going to play well. The organization is too dysfunctional to begin with. So if you don't have confidence in your guy, good luck, right? And we'll see what they do elsewhere, as we've seen time and time again, right? So, they're in shambles, right? Their defense is going to be probably fine, right? Probably fine. I think missing Myles Garrett is going to be bigger than we were even thinking of right now. And I'll be honest, I'm gonna be completely happy with the fact that Myles Garrett is not rushing at Lamar Jackson in year 8 at this point. But it's still one of those situations, y'all, where I'm feeling good about the Ravens right now. A 24-point outing, holding your opponent to 7. Obviously the preseason is the preseason, right? Like you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt. But you can look at certain things, certain tendencies. I've seen a lot of guys talk about, the game planning defensively from Jesse Minter. And the thing about it is Jesse Minter is kind of young in his head coaching career, but he's also got a guy he can hand it off to, and Anthony Weaver, who I honestly don't feel like is going to be here very long, right? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Declan Doyle is going to be here very long either. I think the Ravens have to kind of be in win now mode at this point. Considering what their coaches have kind of put on film, right? Just so far. Obviously, we haven't seen any regular season games yet, so we'll see that. But I mean, we've seen what Anthony Weaver has done in his previous stops. We've seen what Declan Doyle has done in his previous stops. So, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Look, y'all, I got to get up out of here, but I'm just excited for the Ravens. I just want to sit down. I just want to hang out with y'all for a minute, because for me, I'm excited, right? I'm excited for what the Ravens are going to do. I'm excited for the potential of what the Ravens can be, right? I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. So if I had to, like I said, pushing it full circle, if I had to feel, right, if I had to answer the question of like what made me excited, like I said, I love seeing the involvement of Jesse Minter. I love it. I mean, somebody even mentioned like, hey, like there's no crazy looks on the sidelines. It's all business out there. Right. It is all business. You're trying to improve. And I'm trying not to take a shot at John Harbaugh here, but like it's to me, it's nice to have a guy who, and we've talked about this plenty of times, and this was kind of my excitement for Jesse Minter coming in. It's nice to have a guy who can it has the ability to call plays on either side of the football, right? Like I think it's going, I think it's interesting because also we got to remember too, Jesse Minter kind of has nothing to lose, right? Like, yeah, you can technically lose your job, but like similar to Mike McDonald, similar to what we've seen with Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, even Mike McDaniels, right? Like, there's like not a lot to lose. Obviously, McDaniels is the one guy who ended up not still having a job at this point. But like, we saw him kind of throw everything at the wall, right? And put his best foot forward. And I think that's when we'll get some really fun football. Look, y'all, I'm excited, y'all. We don't have very very much time until we get to September and the regular season starts. And man, it's gonna be interesting. This I think this whole season is gonna be interesting. Like I saw a little preview today. Somebody was kind of just going through the schedule, and I mean, the Ravens have a good opportunity to start 6, 7, 8, 0. Like starting the season. So I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. I'm excited, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do want to say one thing real quick before I wrap up. The Tyler Loop situation. I don't know. Y'all let me know down below what y'all thinking about Tyler Loop. The Tyler Loop situation. I don't know. Picking up where he left off. I get that. I don't know. Tyler Loop is interesting, right? Like Tyler Loop is interesting. We'll see how that goes. We will see how that develops throughout the rest of the time. But look, y'all, I got to get up out of here. I definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Be More Show. Until next time, my friends.